Coming from the festivals, I would like to see members of our committee, for example, taking more of an active part and an interest in their schools, for example, and sit on the schools as governors. I'd like to see them involved in local hospitals, sitting on the board of governors, if you like, with whatever management committees they have, sitting on them and having the say. I would like to see them get on these so-called professional bodies. In 1920, there was a slump in the country. In Poplar, thousands were out of work. At that time, poor relief was seen by many as charity. George Lansbury, a Poplar councillor, said that families were entitled to relief as a right, not as charity. He always said there should be no poor law at all, that it was the capitalist system that was the root cause of unemployment. But in the meantime, he made sure that the poor got decent relief. The administration of relief was the responsibility of the Poplar Board of Guardians. In 1892, Lansbury had been elected to the board along with Will Crooks and 3 other Labour men, and they turned the board upside down, although they were only in a minority. Their idea was to keep the family together rather than force them into the workhouse. Because of this, government inquiries accused them of extravagance, but they stuck to their principles. The feeling for Lansbury went very deep because he made people believe in themselves and in each other, and that they had the ability to change things. Lansbury was a Christian, but his religion wasn't just going to church. He was president of the Church Socialist League. This was an association of the Church of England clergy who were socialists, who believed that the church itself should stand for socialism. In 1912, Lansbury resigned his seat as Member of Parliament for Bow. The Parliamentary Labour Party had refused to add his amendment allowing votes for women to the new suffrage bill. Lansbury gave up his seat to fight a by-election on the issue, and the Poplar Labour Party was disaffiliated for supporting him. The Women's Social and Political Union, the militant suffragettes, came down to help in the by-election led by Sylvia Pankhurst. Although Lansbury lost the by-election, Sylvia Pankhurst stayed. She not only wanted votes for women, but better conditions for working women. She took a shop in Roman Road and started the East London Federation of Suffragettes. When the war started in 1914, the Federation didn't support it, but fought to protect people from its effects. Cheap dining rooms were opened for meals at cost price. Clothing and toy factories were started on a cooperative basis as a demonstration against sweated labour. And also a nursery for children of working women. It was at this time that several local women emerged as leaders, who were later to become Labour councillors. At the end of the war, people looked forward to a better future. They believed that socialism could be brought about. If not today, then tomorrow. In 1919, the first Socialist Council was returned in Poplar. They were determined on changes. Faced with massive unemployment, the council maintained a standard of poor relief which they knew the rates would not support. A poor borough like Poplar had a low rateable value, but the greatest burden for relief, whereas a rich borough like Westminster had few unemployed, but a much bigger rateable value. The answer was a rates equalisation fund, whereby the richer boroughs would subsidise the poorer. The council declared war on the government to make them change the law. They refused to contribute that part of the rates which went to the London County Council to pay for the police, the asylums and water board. There were meetings all over the borough to explain the struggle. The council was summoned to appear before the High Court. Thousands of people marched with them to court. They were led by the mace bearer, not with the mace, but with an empty sardine tin on a pole. The council defied the court's ruling and refused to pay. And in September 1921, they were arrested. 24 men went to Brixton with Lansbury, then 62 years old, and 5 women went to Holloway. The people had bodyguards to protect the councillors, but as Minnie Lansbury wrote in the Times, nothing short of a machine gun detachment could have got them to prison if they had not wanted to go. I don't think it's the micro switches. They sound all right. They could be going, but they could be a bit good.
But leave it?
Yeah.
No? We'll leave it?
Yeah, it's all right.
Take it off and have a look at the pot.
Working in the dock is vastly different from the brewery. When I came out of the army, I became a shop steward at the brewery. And probably from this, I learnt how to organise. As I say, from the beginning, the awareness came with being a steward. Probably enjoying it to a certain extent. When I was involved locally in the Labour Party. But then again, this is an area which is all labour. There's no fight, as it were. And I think that the festivals, it was a bit of a challenge in actual fact, whether we could do it. But we've done it.
Yeah, there is 7 festivals, actually. There's 7 going on.
There's 8. There's another one today.
Oh, there's another one, yeah.
We can come down and call on your help any time.
Oh, yeah. The first meeting, you probably feel a little bit despondent. And when you start looking at people's programmes and see what they had and what you've got to put on or compete with, do you think so? Then you probably get a bit scared. Yeah. But as time goes on, you'll find that you'll get into it and you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy doing it. It'll be a lot of work. A lot of work. There's a lot of worry attached to it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's all worthwhile in the end.
What about dancing in the open air?
On the green?
Yeah. For us.
Well, it's a bit difficult dancing on the grass, David.
You get these people coming, these outsiders coming in and charging X amount of money, or giving you X amount of money, and charging what they like.
Yeah.
Well, kids were paying 5 pence a roll, 5 pence down slots and all that. Well, the idea, because they aren't money, and they donate it to the festival. Well, what we're trying to do, or what I'd like to do, is to run it ourselves, instead of 5 pence, run 1 pence. The same with catering. They told me that you had all the caterers there.
No, we've done our own catering. What I would like to see is for people like the fair people to be eliminated completely.
That's right.
But until you get organised, they add an attraction to your festival. And you'll find also that if this festival committee stick together, it can be used as a pressure group in your area. And you can get all sorts of things done. We have, for example, I mean, we've got the park, Langdon Park is being cleared and probably returfed at the end of the year. I'm sure that had we not pressed the council as a festival committee, this would not have been done.
I know David says we're involved in politics. We aren't trying to start up some sort of political committee that will start taking up and fighting and all and sundry. We're not having that type of thing.
I was on the committee when they were fighting the rents, and my house was used for every Tom, Dick and Harry because we didn't have a hall that we could use when we wanted to.
The Tenants Association was political. It started getting political.
Well, see, tenants associations, we have had one or two, and I wasn't connected with them at all. And they all failed, didn't they? I mean, you had a terrific one on Lansbury, and it failed over the rent strike, I believe. And I think when you start running tenants associations, if you try to run one again, you wouldn't get off the ground in Lansbury at the moment because it's got a bad name.
Through a rent strike, people were told to withhold their rent, and they got a bit afraid. But I think with a festival, it's going to bring them together because they're going to come and enjoy themselves.
The point is, once I come round knocking at your door for your subs, then you expect me to do something for you. And people start paying their subs every week, and they expect the Tenants Association to do some work. Now, the difference between a festival is that nobody comes up and knocks at your door for money. If you go in your pub and want to put 2 bob in a raffle, that's entirely up to you.
And he said, you are 1% withholding, 99% are paying. You haven't got a case, and we lost it just like that. And we had all those years of marching and talking.
You did think at the time that there was more people supporting you than that 1%. The Poplar councillors believed that they were fighting for the poor throughout the world and that they would win. Every night crowds came to hear Lansbury or the Mayor, Sam March, make speeches from the prison windows and to sing the red flag. The National Labour Party and the TUC denounced the councillors' action. There was a lot of pressure on them to compromise and pay in promise of a conference later. It was very hard in prison, and the health of all of them suffered. After 5 weeks, they were let out of prison and welcomed home by a crowd of 15,000 people with bands and banners. The government agreed to a common poor law fund. It was a victory that made them famous. Then, in 1926, there was the general strike, which was completely solid in the East End. The pickets stopped lorries and overturned cars, and the government had to bring food from the docks in convoys with troops. The Poplar Trades Council, through the Action Committee, administered the area, and people began to feel that they could run things. But people in Poplar now remember it for one thing: police brutality. These were not local police, but police brought in from outside, who they said were half boozed. The mounted police rode into pubs, and it was unsafe to be out on the streets. It was a defeat for the government because of the brutality, and it was a defeat for the people because they felt let down. The government talked of revolution because they had the jitters, so they used the troops and the police, but there was no revolution. The people were not prepared. They were not ready. It was a defensive action, solidarity with the miners. It was a protest, if you like. People were not educated to take over. They were looking for leadership, and it was not available. Socialism lost a lot of credibility. It can't come about just through the unions. There has to be something whereby people can replace the government and run things themselves. Nails, yeah, there's nails on the stage.
That one done, John? This one?
What are you going to do this one again?
That one's going to go round, this one's going to go round. Someone's doing a trip last night red over there.
Play it again, Josh.
No one is doing that, do we? They went in half fist. You've got to extend it, Bill?
No, no. Well, it's got to go to the plug board at the bottom, as long as it meets there.
It won't really, will it?
No.
We've got any spare up now?
No.
Well, unwrap a bit.
We'll unwrap a bit and we'll take it back, eh?
Come on.
Right, son. Yeah, I've got the brushes. There's some under the stage we can improvise with.
Yeah. There's some clips under the stage, Pat.
Yeah.
There's all sorts under there, Pat.
Well, why not stick a few of them in now?
Yeah.
Stick them up.
This'll work.
Wait. Come here. If I see you in that tent again, you won't come over it tomorrow. All right? I'll tell the policeman. You can go in there tomorrow, though, but not tonight.
What is it?
Don't worry about what is it. You can't go in there tonight.
I'll try it. Put the ends in, just to try it and see. So you got the straw barrels, eh? So, how many?
50.
50. I don't know where to put them, you know, in case it rains.
They're already wet.
Oh, that's maybe different
Some of them. We managed to get 19 dry bundles.
Yeah.
It's, they couldn't let us have all dry ones because you never know, you know.
No.
They've been left
I think we might put them up.
Sheet out.
I think we might put them up behind the stalls in the corner, and the kids won't jump
really?
on it. Yeah.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah.
And the tug of war rope,
Yeah.
can't get.
Oh.
They lent it out a week ago. Hasn't been returned yet. But I've got all the measurements and the rules, but whether we can get a rope 4 inches thick.
We'll have to get one by Sunday.
Yeah. The only other place is the East London Stadium. I tried to get down there today, you know, trying to get in there. There was nobody there when I went down twice. I'll try again in the morning.
I think I'll try the police. Now, the police have just played a game of football. So some of them...
Well, I've already tried Bethnal Green, Limehouse.
Yeah, they haven't got one.
And they haven't got a road. They said they borrowed theirs.
They borrow?
The one from Victoria Park.
Right, let's go and see.
And whether we can get
Johnny,
this one
do you know anybody who's got a tug-of-war over? But apparently we've been let down for a tug-of-war over.
So you said they've probably got one over East London Stadium.
The only people I know is Alec Jones. They used to have their own care house. If not Lemon Street, Sunday one.
Lemon Street?
Lemon Street, Nick.
Okay.
Well, they always use as a flight to the Teviot, to the
E1.
E1? Oh, I'll shoot up there. See if
we shoot up there tonight?
Yeah, I'll shoot up there.
Look, I'll tell you what, pal, on your way through, if you don't mind, you know Cannon Street Road?
Yeah.
As you go down on the right-hand side, there's Smith's, the chemist. Next door to it, you see a street door with a bell on. If you ring it, that's where Alec Jones lives. And he used to run the care house tug-of-war team. So if you say you're from the Teviot Festival, Billy Pyne, ask if he's got one.
What?
Now me and my gal made up a plan, the ladder for to reach her bedroom window, and we just got one to fit. We higgled and giggled and laughed about to see what fun we'd done. When me leg slipped through the window and I fell and cut me. They wheeled me home in a wheelbarrow, they wheeled me home with care. They took me to me father's house, crikey didn't he swear. Me mother, she come running out and said, what have you done? Oh, must have been a courting, and I fell and cut me. Rumshy-adamy, 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 eh? Rumshy-adamy, 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 rumshy-daddle-dumpty.
I danced on a Friday and the sky turned black. It's hard to dance with the devil on your back. I buried my body and they thought I'd gone, but I am the dance and I still go on. Dance then, wherever you may be, I am the Lord of the dance, said he. I will lead you all, wherever you may be, I will lead you all in the dance, said he.
A bit, ease off! Clergy, ease off! Oh, I just... Ease off! They're not taking any. Take the strain! Boom!
Our idea was that if groups of people wanted to organise themselves in the area, we would support them financially as far as we could. Get them on their feet and say, there it is, you carry on. It's not a protest. The tenants got themselves into a protest, into a fight, if you like, and they lost it, and their organisation failed and wrapped up. We don't go out to protest. We go out to involve people to do things for the betterment of their community in which they live. The festival can be a springboard, and you can jump from there.